From Dolphin Soccer Park on the campus of the College of Staten Island, CSI Sportsnet presents NCAA Division II women's soccer coverage live on the ECC network. Today's women's soccer home opener features the Penmen of Southern New Hampshire University taking on the CSI Dolphins. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Joe Foreman, and for the first time this season, I am joined by my broadcast partner, Nick Durst, from the press box atop Dolphin Soccer Park, and we are proud to welcome you into our first women's soccer broadcast of the 2022 athletic season here at the College of Staten Island. And Nick, the women come in 0-2 on the season, but we did have a thrilling opening matchup last year. The women took the win in overtime over Felician University. We're hoping for some similar fireworks here this afternoon.
Absolutely, Joe. And first, I just want to quote the legendary Mike Francesa. All right, we're back, me and you, back on the airwaves for the 2022-2023 school year. Looking forward to calling a lot of action with you this season. Dolphins here looking to rebound. Tough trip to Connecticut, dropping their first two games of this season, but now we got some home cooking, and it's a big game here because the Dolphins are not home again for over 21 days.
It will be a long time before we see this women's soccer team here at Dolphin Soccer Park again, but they are looking to break a two-match losing streak. They have dropped their first two games of the season by a combined score of 5-0. They dropped their first game back on August 26th against Franklin Pierce by a final score of 3-0, and then dropped their second game at Southern Connecticut State University by a score of 2-0. So the Dolphins will still be in search of their first goal of the 2022 season, but we saw them bounce back from an 0-2 start in a big way last year with a win in their home opener. They'll be looking to do more of the same here this afternoon.
Yeah, if you remember last year, Brendan Guzman, the head coach, his first ever victory as head coach was that home opener. So looking to see history repeat itself here as the Dolphins get underway here on the pitch for the first time at home this season.
So we are looking forward to the women's soccer home opener and starting lineups, which are about to be introduced out on the pitch. So with that, we will take a break. And when we come back, Dolphins and the Penmen here on the ECC network. This is CSI Sportsnet coverage of NCAA Division II women's soccer. More to come on the other side of this break.
You Know I'm Right is the podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, entertainment, and pop culture. On the show, hosts Nick and Joe walk guests through the retelling of their humble beginnings, covering an array of topics from specific interests and hobbies to personal opinions regarding each facet of their industry. You Know I'm Right offers insight on how to adapt and advance, and offers alternative advice as opposed to a one-size-fits-all strategy. Above all else, the number one goal of You Know I'm Right is to offer listeners an exclusive behind-the-scenes vantage point not found anywhere else through its increasing list of professional connections. With a following that continues to grow daily, You Know I'm Right is transforming into a must-listen podcast in the right place at the right time. Find the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. You do not want to miss an episode of You Know I'm Right.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive to achieve every goal we aim for because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
Cobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dine-in order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Car is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447-4890.
And we are back from Dolphins Soccer Park. Joe Foreman rejoining you alongside Nick Durst with the call of today's NCAA Division II women's soccer matchup. SNHU takes on CSI from the College of Staten Island. And ahead of kickoff, we do have the starting lineup for both teams, beginning first with the visiting Penmen. In numerical order, the SNHU starters, number 1, Hannah Rose, number 2, Nita Orloff, number 4, Imogen Noon, number 6, Jordan Butters, number 7, Alyssa Anderson, number 8, Michaela Thompson, number 9, Morgan Seiken, number 13, Georgia Green, number 26, Ai Inu, number 27, Alyssa McCarthy, and number 32, Lauren Conti. Starters for the Dolphins, number 1, Sarah Villacrest, number 2, Jacqueline D'Amico, number 4, Emily Albano, number 5, Macy Jones-Bush, number 6, Colleen Rodriguez, number 7, Barbara Serrano, number 17, Angie Galan, number 18, Kelly Buckley, number 23, Ariel Solomon, and number 24, Adriana Melgar. The Dolphins starting lineup rounded out by number 27, Megan Marr.
Well, Joe, this should certainly be a electrifying game here. It's going to come down really to the goalkeeping there. Villacrest and Rose, the two goalies, going against each other back-to-back, and we are awaiting kickoff here, and both teams are pumped up. It's a beautiful, beautiful Saturday afternoon here. The first game of September for both schools, September 3rd, 2022. And before we get started, shout out to Jacqueline D'Amico, who picked up a big championship this summer along with her brother and her father as their co-ed Sunday softball team, Hobra, took home the championship this summer and spring season. So congrats to them.
The team name was Hobra, Nick?
Sponsored by Hobra.
Okay, and they make some great food over at Hobra, and this may be a free plug at this point, but they were very nice to us over the years that I was here full-time from 2019 through 2020, so I think they deserve one shout-out. We hope to hear from them again at some time in the future, but the Dolphins take the pitch on their home turf for the first time this season. They come in 0-2, as I mentioned during the pregame. The Penmen last season defeated the Dolphins by a final score of 4-0. They enter today's matchup with CSI 1-0. They defeated the University of Bridgeport 1-0 in their only game of the season. Of course, Bridgeport, a former ECC rival to the College of Staten Island. I do believe the Dolphins may play them this year, but Bridgeport no longer a part of the East Coast Conference.
So on your screen here, you see the Dolphins on the left in white, and their opponent, Southern New Hampshire University, in navy blue.
And the Penmen will possess it first. They play it to their backers as they move it along the near side. Challenged by Solomon, and able to evade that challenge was Anderson. That ball sent up the pitch by the Penmen. That was McCarthy. It's knocked down in the midfield as the Penmen play it to the far sideline. SNHU passing around the midfield, and once again they will send it to their backers. Pressure from the Dolphins, and Macy Jones-Bush made them rush that pass just a bit as that's sent into the midfield. The Penmen moving forward on the attack. Here comes Anderson. Anderson moving toward the edge of the box, challenged by Galan. Galan moving in. Anderson avoids that challenge. Cross in front. That sails toward the far post, and it is sent across the goal mouth. A quality chance early for the Penmen, but fortunately for CSI, that shot went wide.
Well, you thought maybe they'd come out here, feel each other out a little bit. No, not the case. Within a minute and a half, the Penmen take it down the field, down the pitch, and get a shot. Not on goal, though, so lucky break there for the Dolphins.
A quality chance early for SNHU, and it will be a Dolphins goal kick in the opening 90 seconds as they send that toward the far side, shy of the midfield, and the Penmen easily recover. That was Noon playing it to her backer. McCarthy sends it near side for Conti. Conti plays it ahead to Anderson. Anderson working against Solomon toward the center of the pitch. That pass was intercepted by Buckley and sent skyward. But McCarthy is able to play it back into the attacking third. And once again, here come the Penmen. This is Orloff. She fires one toward goal and beats Villacrest inside of the far post. And very early, the Penmen are on the board. They lead it 1-0.
Well, Joe, Orloff there, the junior, her eyes lit up as she was looking to pass. There was no Dolphins defenders around her. She winds up and hammers that one into the back of the net. And an early lead here for SNHU. 1-0, 42:55 into the game.
And we will get another look at that last goal in just a moment as we update our clock and scoreboard. We do hope to have those synced with our live stats ahead of our next broadcast. That was Orloff on the goal. And I do believe the assist was announced. I missed it as I'm trying to queue up our replay. We'll get another look at that last Penmen goal after we have a stoppage in the action. This is Solomon up ahead toward Galan, and that ball travels over the sideline. So with that, we will get another look at that Penmen goal. Here it is. Good-looking shot from Orloff, beating Villacrest inside of the far post. That's a tough save for any keeper. Not much resistance between the attacking player and the net. Once that good through ball sprung the attack forward into the final third of the pitch. Dolphins will look to respond here. That's Rodriguez with a strong touch. It rolls toward the far sideline, and the Dolphins will run out of room as the Penmen will throw.
Just a little too powerful there by Rodriguez. And the Penmen get possession back. Dolphins coming back after that goal, looking to be more the aggressor, but unable to finish on their touches. And the result of two offensive attacks is the ball going out of bounds.
Well, I did mention the matchup between these two teams last year. It was a convincing win for the Penmen. This Dolphins team, a mix of returning players and new faces. And the starting lineup, probably about a 60-40 split, 60% returners, 40% new faces, if I'm not mistaken. Or at the very least, new faces as in players who didn't see the pitch as much last year. Barbara Serrano, one of those. She was on the team, but did not play. I believe she was injured ahead of the start of the season. We will get the official scoring on that goal as promised. I do have internet access on our Stream Hub, so I can consult our live stats, courtesy of our friend next door, Louis Matrone, and Sal Caruso helping with the live stats as well.
Some would call them two geniuses, but we would just call the stat program genius.
We do. Once again, CSI has transitioned to the use of NCAA live stats, powered by Genius, ahead of the 2022-2023 athletic season. We'll pull up those stats right here and get you the official scoring on that assist. The goal goes to goes to Nita Orloff. Nadia Ivola, of course, a Dolphin. The assist goes to Georgia Green. So Orloff with the score. The assist goes to Green. And we await a Dolphins free kick here. Albano lined up over the ball.
And for Georgia Green, her first point as a Dolphin, for the freshman, excited to, as a Penman, excited to get her first point of the season.
So now, is it her first point as a Penman or a Penman? That's the big question. As Serrano goes down, that ball rolls toward the corner of the box. I may have to go Penman, Nick, singular.
I think so.
That pass intercepted in the midfield by CSI. That was Rodriguez, redirected by D'Amico, who receives it right back on the give and go. D'Amico has Jones-Bush, who's taken down. And the Dolphins will turn it over right on the edge of the attacking third. It was a bit of a shaky start for the Dolphins. They appeared to have settled down since. We're going to have a throw along the far side. Penmen have it along the far sideline. They work it toward the center of the pitch. And once again play it near side to Conti. Conti up to Anderson. Met by Solomon. That pass off the foot of Galan. And that's rolling toward the penalty area where Villacrest meets it. Villacrest was the Dolphins' goalkeeper for most of last season. Spent the majority of the time in goal for CSI. Had a save percentage a tick over 70 in over 1,365 minutes. She allowed 42 goals and made 99 saves, allowing just shy of 3 goals per game.
And if you're a freshman able to get that many minutes and that many saves, I mean, that's great experience here building into her sophomore season.
Unfortunately for Villacrest, the Dolphins struggled for offense last year, averaging just a half a goal per game. They haven't scored in either of their first 2 matches this year. That's something they'll look to turn around. Dolphins were shut out quite a bit last year. They only had a pair of multiple goal games. Very physical play in the midfield, and we finally get a whistle. But the spectators certainly appreciate that. A lot of strong tackles by both teams during that last sequence, and the Dolphins earn the free kick.
Officials letting them play there, but ultimately things are getting a little too tough and rough. The whistle had to be blown, and it's going to be a free kick here for the Dolphins.
Well, you know me, Nick. I'm always a fan of physical play, especially when the referees are letting them play. And we have another whistle. And I think the Dolphins will have to line up this free kick again.
Well, in the other football, that's what we would call a false start. But no penalty here. Dolphins will just kick it again.
Dolphins will take the free kick this time toward the top of the box. That's redirected onto the foot of Galan. And getting a piece of it was Conti. At least I thought so. Apparently not, as that did roll over the touchline. So that is going to be a Penmen goal kick. Once again, this is Conti. She's been busy early in this first half. We're just shy of 9 minutes in. That ball redirected toward the far sideline. Sending it up the pitch. And finding her attacker, I believe that was Inu. Here come the Penmen once again. Ball sent in front, but Galan was there. Not a lot on that ball. There was a very small window. That ball in front intended for Anderson.
Once again, Dolphins not getting much pressure on their opponents when they get into the box, but a nice job there to get that ball out of bounds.
Penmen have it right on the edge of the attacking third. Dolphins applying a lot of pressure here. A lot on that ball to Anderson, who was able to knock it down, once again working against Galan. She gets a step. She's moving in toward the touchline. Galan regains position. Anderson looking to turn. Still battling with Galan. Albano came over to help. That was Saikin sending it over to Orloff, who fires a weak shot, and that's saved by Villacres. Possession in the midfield with the Dolphins. Serrano redirects for Marr. Solomon chips it up in the air. Conti went down, and that's going to be a throw-in for SNHU. Just over 10 minutes gone by in the first half. Much of the time of possession belonging to the Penmen so far. But the Dolphins appear to have regained their composure after a very tough couple of minutes to open the match. Buckley was looking for Jones-Bush there. Jones-Bush redirects for Buckley. That's off a Penman. And Jones-Bush is moving in. She takes down Conti, but that gets away from the keeper. The net is empty, and the shot is high. Solomon had an empty net and sent it just over the crossbar.
Wow, Joe, that was an exciting sequence there. The goalkeeper, Hannah Rose, almost had her thorn there as that one got away from her twice. But Solomon unable to finish there and kicks it over the net, and it will result in a goal kick for Rose.
Great effort by Jones-Bush. Nice job by Solomon to follow, but she sent it high. And that is one the Dolphins may look back on and regret in a big way. Those are opportunities you have to capitalize on if you get them. But Rose lost it as the strong challenge earned CSI possession. Here comes Rodriguez, but she was swarmed by 3 Penmen, and it's going to be an SNHU throw-in. Rose had a pretty clear path to the ball once she got by Jones-Bush and just could not secure it. That gave Solomon the opportunity. We'll see if that energizes this Dolphins team or if it serves to demoralize them. It could really go either way, Nick.
Yeah, it could be a glimmer of hope saying we can get in the box, we can attack, we can score, we can hang with them, or it could be that was our only chance and we blew it. So we'll see how the Dolphins handle the rest of this first half here.
Last couple of trips into the midfield by the Penmen have been good defensive sequences for the Dolphins. They've made these passes a lot tougher to make. This is Anderson looking up the pitch, and that's a good ball headed for Orloff. Villacres backpedals. Orloff chases it down. And that shot is sent way high by Imogen Noon. And the Dolphins will have a goal kick. Villacres has been busy in goal early. Her team trails by 1, but as you said, Nick, the Dolphins with that last opportunity, perhaps affirming that they can hang with this team and get chances. Not sure they'll get one of that quality again, but they'll certainly try, and they have plenty of time to do so. As CSI moves into the midfield, this is Solomon. You know she would like to get another chance. She's being challenged by Michaela Thompson, and Solomon sends it over the near side. It will be a throw-in for the Penmen.
Solomon looking to use her speed down the sideline, but broken up there and ended up going out of bounds.
Both teams battling along the near side. Conti just got that by Jones-Bush. A dangerous pass there. McCarthy. Far sideline for Inu. Penmen moving into the midfield. Once again, they are looking for Orloff on the long ball. That's another good one. Here comes Orloff again. Orloff moving in toward the box. May look to cross. She sends one in front. It gets by a Dolphin and onto the foot of Anderson and in. Alyssa Anderson with the second goal of the game for the Penmen, and they now lead it 2-0.
Well, Alyssa Anderson camping out in front of the net, and that's as easy as it will get for her. Nice soft pass to her, able to control it and knock it in. And SNHU goes ahead 2-0 early here in the game.
Anderson, the leading goal scorer for this Penn men's squad last year. She had 18 total points on those 7 goals, in addition to 4 assists. She led the team in shots on goal with 28. And we see why. With shots like that, though, she was set up beautifully by Orloff. Not to be lost on that play was the setup. The Dolphins did get a foot on it in front. But a pair of assists on the play. And SNHU now has a 2-goal advantage.
So we'll see here if SNHU continues to be the aggressor or if they want to play conservative here and try to just hold that 2-0 lead and lead them to victory, or if they want to continue to apply the pressure. And it looks like they are going to try to apply the pressure right now.
We've seen some great-looking through balls from SNHU. That was another one right there, but that far sideline wing has been a problem area for the Dolphins. Danny Duca enters the game for CSI, replacing Barbara Serrano.
And you may have heard that loud and clear over our PA system, and we love our viewers commenting, and we want to thank Jared, who is complimenting our public address announcer, Joe Calabrese, on doing such a great job today on the broadcast.
I've been told you can hear him far and wide. That is voice projection if I've ever heard it. And
welcome to Victory Boulevard. And by the way, speaking of that, Joe, free shirts tomorrow for the men's game.
And that's going to be an offsides call against the Penn men. But you said it, Nick. Free T-shirts tomorrow. So come on down to Dolphin Soccer Park, catch a men's soccer matchup with Assumption University, and receive a free Welcome to Victory Boulevard T-shirt. I have an early unit. I might have unit 1 of however many we produced. I wish I had a number, but the asterisk is always while supplies last.
Sponsored by JVN Restoration Inc., Environmental Service Contractors.
We always love to make sure we shout out our sponsors, and tomorrow's giveaway is sponsored. So certainly come out to Dolphin Soccer Park as the men's soccer team will look to break above the 500 mark. They're off to a 1-1 start. New head coach Alex Cuba picking up his first win earlier this week. We'll look for number 2 tomorrow.
Men's soccer team sitting right in front of us, so they're getting the live broadcast, more live than you are at home, as they're hearing us through the window in person.
Not sure there's a better seat in the house, right in front of the commentary booth. Get to hear Nick and I and take in the action. Now, I think there will be one better seat in maybe a week or two when we get air conditioners in this booth. We did go air conditioner shopping for the booth last week, only to find that Best Buy closed at 7 p.m. So that was shut down, but we do intend to have air conditioners for our staff in the booth at some point this season.
That would be tremendous to have air conditioning here, and it would definitely make us broadcast even better.
I know it would help me, and if it makes the broadcast better, I am all for it. If it makes our staff more comfortable, I am all for it. So hopefully we can get that done. My big concern is who's going to install them in the windows. That will probably be me, but we'll see. Free kick for the Dolphins as we approach 27 minutes to play in the first half.
I did hear that our intern, Steven, does have a construction background, so
does
perhaps he could help you out.
All right. As that free kick is headed at the top of the box by the Penn men, rolling toward the near sideline. And that was last touched by the Dolphins.
So 26 and a half minutes left here in the first half. If you are the Dolphins here, I think you need to at least get a shot on goal here before the half ends to continue to hang with the opponents.
I think you're right, Nick. At the very least, the Dolphins have to score next. There's no doubt about that. Once again, the Penn men looking to play it into the attacking third, and Villacrest will try and get there, and Villacrest sure-handed on that diving scoop, and she needed to be, as once again Anderson was bearing down on her. Dolphins still in search of their first shot on goal. However, they did have perhaps the highest quality chance in this game. You could make that case, though the last Penmen goal was certainly a high-quality chance as well. Dolphins working it along their back line. CSI remaining patient, as we can hear Brendan Guzman from up here in the booth. He is shouting at his team to stay patient.
His voice is booming more than our public address announcer, Joe Calabrese, who has a microphone and speakers.
Between Joe, Brendan, and myself, certainly three powerful voices.
No doubt about that, Joe.
I'll tell you, Brendan greeted me this morning. You can't mistake his greeting for anyone else. There's no doubt about that. When Brendan's greeting you, you know it's him. Penmen once again working in the attacking third. That was a poor pass, and the Dolphins do come away with it. D'Amico got a foot on it, but winds up on the foot of Villacres. We did mention we have men's soccer on deck tomorrow against Assumption University, and we are going to debut a men's soccer highlight package at halftime. We did prepare that. It is our template, but we'd like to get a look at it in action, and we're going to take that opportunity at the half. So Nick and I will probably come back with about 5 minutes to play ahead of the start of half number 2. And we're going to debut that men's soccer highlight package from Game 1, featuring footage from both our Sportsnet broadcast and from our athletic communications content creator, Marquise Pickering, as that pass a bit too long for noon along the far side.
Great job on that highlight package by the ACC office of you and Marquise. So the fans will be very excited to see that throughout the season and from every sport, I'm sure.
Dolphins substitution, Sofia Espada into the game, replacing Ariel Salomon. Throw-in is bodied over the far side by the Dolphins. I think they may need help, Nick. I'll go help them out.
All right, so that ball is inbounded and a little trip up there. So it'll be a free kick, I believe.
I doubted them, Nick.
Corner.
They didn't need me.
Never doubt Joe Calabrese, Louis Matrone, and Sal Caruso. Pretty much the A-team over there on the other side of the booth.
No doubt about that. We certainly appreciate Joe stepping up to take over on public address today. Sal will be here throughout the rest of the day today and tomorrow as well, helping me out in the booth. I always appreciate his assistance. As the free kick is sent right toward the dot, headed toward goal, and getting a heel on it was Anderson, but the Dolphins will look to counter. They may have an opportunity here. Here comes Jones-Bush, and that is sent over the near side by Alyssa McCarthy.
Great job there by the Dolphins to clear and turn it up the other way. But unfortunately, the attack was spoiled at the end.
Well, we may have to update some of our positions on the roster. We have Jones-Bush listed as defense. She is playing at a forward spot to start this game. Some of those listings from last year, some from this year. For those of you checking out CSIDolphins.com, be patient with us. We have a new website design that debuted a few weeks back. And first on my agenda for next week in the office is to work out some of the kinks, the broken links, and such. So we should have full functionality and be up and running once again next week over at CSIDolphins.com. We'll do our best to get all of that sorted out next week.
Well, with the staffing changes within the ACC department, I would say all things considered, the website is in very good shape. Not easy to switch a website around while you're switching staff.
I appreciate that, Nick. I did make some changes this week, but definitely going to tackle the bulk of that next week, because we have 3 game days this week, and We have one more coming tomorrow. That will be the third of those 3 game days, but it's been a very busy week for us here at CSI Athletics. A lot of changes, as I highlighted at the start of the men's broadcast on Wednesday. Free kick by the Dolphins, sent toward the box and headed away. And that was sent over the far sideline by Orloff, so the Dolphins will throw. Throw was taken towards Jones-Bush. D'Amico closing in, and that's sent away by the Penmen. Headed by Marr. That's Melgar, who's challenged by Butters. Now Albano surveys. Albano steps into one, sends it up the pitch, and good attempt there looking for D'Amico. Nice defensive play by the Penmen to deny that ball. Dolphins will look to reset again. This is Rodriguez. Rodriguez toward Jones-Bush. Jones-Bush got a body on it. Redirects for Duca. Duca sends one in front, and that was right on target for Espada, but we had an offsides call on the play.
Espada just a little too ahead there, perhaps. Not sure who that was called on, but bad break there for the Dolphins.
We are going to get another look at it and see if we can spot where the offsides was. Free kick upcoming, so we'll get that replay in right now. Here's a look. Well, certainly on Espada because there was no offsides anywhere else. It had to be on Espada. Where the flag went up, it certainly appeared as if that offsides call came somewhere else. As that's a great through ball. Here come the Penmen. Noon moving in, and Villacrest sends it over the far side.
Denied by Villacrest as she swats that one away from Noon, who thought she was going to have an extremely easy goal, but no, not today, as Villacrest knocks that ball away. Huge save there in order to protect this deficit right now at only 2, as we are under 19 minutes here. And we're having some subs for Southern New Hampshire University. And Ann Sakema came into the game for Nita Orloff, I believe. So Dolphins take over here, playing this back up midway, but Southern New Hampshire University gets possession there. And Morgan Sykin kicks that one away out of bounds, and it's going to be a goal kick for Villacrest. So 18 minutes left here on the clock, and Villacrest is set for the goal kick. And she fires that one away, and it's going to lead to Southern New Hampshire University getting possession of the ball, as Noon had it, but she kicked it away. Out of bounds, it'll be another goal kick. So 12:30 p.m. here, 17:30 left in the first half. Dolphins trail 2-0. The goal kick by Villacrest is played over to Emily Albano, who plays it forward. It went to Melgar, who turned it over. Southern New Hampshire University coming back the other way, another shot. But good defensive play there by the Dolphins to regain possession. Dolphins, nice move there along the sideline, looking for some clearance, but they just are having a tough time of it right now. Southern New Hampshire University there, a little tangle up. So Jordan Butters' shot there, not have much power on it. Easy save for Villacrest, and she has possession now. So Villacrest holding the ball here, getting ready to kick this one away. And she fires it to midfield. But once again, Southern New Hampshire University gets possession. And they play it back in deep. Dolphins finally get possession of it. and maintain the ball now.
All right, Nick, I had to head up to the top of the booth. I was assisting our camera operator. Let's just say that our tripod has seen better days. That thing is not looking good. So we're going to have to try and fix that at halftime and certainly have to replace it ahead of the next game. But we do apologize for the instability of our camera feed at the moment.
Going to need a level up there, Joe.
Yeah, a great man once said, you're going to need a level up there, Mike. Of course, we missed the great Mike Baybuski. Moved on from his position here at CSI. I believe he has completed his move to Florida, if I'm not mistaken.
Congratulations to Michael Baybuski on an incredible career at the College of Staten Island. He certainly was missed last year on the broadcast, and now he retired from his 9-to-5 job here in the bursar's office, so he certainly will be missed, especially on the softball diamond.
Would have loved to give him a send-off broadcast. But with all the staffing changes in sports information, we didn't get that opportunity. And I personally want to say thank you for Mike. He made broadcasting a joy for me when I got started. Felt comfortable in the booth with him immediately and had a great time from the first time I put the headset on here at the College of Staten Island.
One of a kind, that's for sure.
No doubt about that. No doubt. A lot of what I learned about criticizing game officials, I learned from Mike.
You don't want to make a bad call because you will be ran over by the bus.
That's right. That's a good one. You certainly would be if you made even a questionable call. But that being said, our officials do a great job. Possession with the Penmen here. Inside of 15 minutes to play in the first half. Dolphins still trailing 2-0. Penmen work it toward the near side. Conti giving chase, but she couldn't get there. And the Dolphins will throw in.
This is big for the Dolphins here, Joe. 14 minutes left. They're on the other side of the field. Let's see if they can get a shot on goal. Currently being outshot 4-0 when it comes to shots on goal.
We highlighted during the pregame, Dolphins still in search of their first goal of the season. Had a chance earlier on an empty net, sent it just high over the crossbar. And I don't believe they've attempted a shot since, as that ball was a good one and headed by Albano. The attacking player was on sides. That was Ann Sakema making that run. And Villacrest will track that ball down on the edge of the box. Villacrest looking for somewhere to go with it as both teams have substitutions waiting to come on the pitch.
And it's certainly not easy to play in these conditions. We're in the 80s today. The sun is shining. It's bright, so we'll see how the stamina turns out here as the game progresses.
We're right on that temperature fringe where we may have expected to see a water break in this first half. That would have been the perfect opportunity to fix the camera. But we'll have to wait until halftime. 12 and a half more minutes before we reach that point. Clock on your screen is about perfectly synced with the clock here at Dolphin Soccer Park. Maybe a 1 second differential, but we're synced up pretty well. That's Anderson. And Anderson was looking for Sakema on that ball. That one rolls toward the near side. And we are going to have a substitution. One for CSI. I believe that's Isabella Castro checking in. Tough to tell from up here. That is Castro.
I think Danny Duca is coming off for the Dolphins.
Yeah, Duca off, Castro on. Off for the Penmen, Anderson and Sykin.
Southern New Hampshire substitutions. Number 20, Megan Wessner is entering the game for number
Megan
9,
Wessner is in.
Number 18 of Allison Beaumont is entering
Allison
the game
Beaumont into the game as well.
Anderson.
Thanks to Joe Calabrese for that.
Ariana
Oh, they had three.
is entering the game for number 13, Georgia Green.
All right, so Georgia Green also out. And Ariana Jorgantis
CSI substitution.
into the game as well.
Number 13, Isabel Castro.
Joe Calabrese, one of the co-hosts of the Unarmed Right podcast, one of our proud sponsors of the broadcast, doing a great job. He's all over it today with the substitutions. We know the fans at home, especially Jared, is very excited about that. Nothing's going to get by Joe today, that's for sure.
Jared is going to get to know Joe very well by the end of this afternoon. We don't know the power of our own audio equipment, apparently. It's going to be a Dolphins free kick here. Castro will set the ball down, and Albano will take the free kick. Albano, one of the heroes of last year's Dolphins home opener victory over Felician University. She scored on a bicycle kick in the waning seconds of the first half in what was a 2-1 CSI victory. She sends this free kick toward the top of the box, and the Penn men get a foot on it first. Galan chases it down, was looking for Albano, and Albano was not able to keep that ball in play.
Well, Joe, right now, the play of the game for the Dolphins was Villacrest and her tremendous save before. You may have missed that as you were heading upstairs to fix the camera with the level, but that was huge because if that goes in, 3-0 is extremely hard to come back from. 2-0 is manageable with the time remaining on the clock.
As I said earlier, if the Dolphins are looking to come back in this game, which certainly they are, they need to score the next goal. That's where it starts. You score the next goal, and then you're one miscue like what we saw earlier away from tying it. But they have to score next. And we will see if they can make that happen. As able to avoid Jones-Bush was McCarthy. McCarthy is the captain for this Penn men team. Didn't see if the Dolphins had a player sporting that captain's armband. If their captain is out there on the pitch right now, they are not wearing that armband. Usually easy to spot in the lineup line if you're looking for it, as that's sent across midfield, headed back the other way. First to it was Butters, and she plays it back to Inu. Inu into the midfield. Galan pursuing Drogantis from behind, and she gets rid of it, as once again the Penn men work it toward the center of the pitch. That's you. Penn men again send it back into the midfield. My mistake, that was Wessner, who wears 20 for the Penn men. Arielu wears 20 for the Dolphins. Nice move there to avoid the challenge. This is Butters working it to the center of the pitch. Dolphins take it away. Castro nearly gave it back. And looking to turn was Noon. Good job by Castro to stay with her. This is Wessner. Wessner sends it far side for Inu. Inu into the box. And that ball was on target, but Villacrest the first to it. The intended recipient was Sakema once again.
Great job there by Inu to play that forward. The graduate student from Tokyo, Japan.
We have a nice turnout here at Dolphins Soccer Park once again this afternoon. The middle section of our bleachers filled very nicely, as was the case during our home opener on Wednesday. And you know, with the free Victory Boulevard t-shirts tomorrow, there's going to be a nice turnout for the men's game. No NFL football until next week, so we'll have to settle for some football here at CSI.
And if you're on the fence about the shirt, as that one is played across and it's going to go out of bounds for a goal kick, it's a very nice material you're wearing, Joe, and it's white, so it's nice and cool. It's sort of like a dry fit, I would say.
Yes.
So it's not a cotton shirt. Last year was cotton, so if you're like, yeah, I got the shirt last year, no, totally different shirt. Last year's shirt was black. This year is white. So definitely come on down, enjoy the last Sunday of the year without NFL football, and root for your Dolphins and get the Welcome to Victory Boulevard shirt. But we do encourage you to get here early because it's only as supplies last.
Yes, and whoever made the schedule for men's soccer knew that next, or I should say this Sunday, is the final Sunday without NFL football. They knew. Don't be scheduling games for Sundays after that. You'll have a lot of very upset players and You may have some empty bleachers as well, because
Yep.
it's a very tough sell to pull people away from their TV screens on an NFL Sunday.
Especially for you.
Especially for me, that's right. Though I don't get a choice in the matter, so I'm here regardless. My staff, on the other hand, they have more of a choice. That could have been tougher, so I appreciate the lack of Sundays on the schedule. It makes it much easier for us in sports information.
I do recall last year a very challenging, perhaps December or January Sunday, a basketball game going on, and let's just say your eyes were all over the place, yeah.
They were. They certainly were. That's all I'll say about it. I don't want to encourage any potentially destructive practices to our viewers if they don't already engage in those themselves, but there was a good reason that I was glued to my phone that day, and I think our viewers can put 2 and 2 together.
Absolutely, and today, of course, is a big event going on, Clash at the Castle on Peacock, but do not give Joe any spoilers on that. He will be watching it tomorrow.
That's right. I will be watching tomorrow. I will be heading straight from Dolphin Soccer Park out to Middle Island, New York for that. Penmen on the attack once again. Looking to really break this open before halftime. That shot sails wide off the foot of Jorgantis, and that was a quality chance once again. Didn't look like she was in a position to shoot, but that is a strong attempt at goal as Villacrest watched it sail wide. We're inside of 5 minutes to play in the first half. Dolphins still looking to get on the board for the first time.
Imogen Noon coming off, and Sarah Talordis comes in for Southern New Hampshire University.
Sarah Talumis enters the game for number 4, Imogen New.
So Talumnis back on the pitch.
Dolphins have it. This is Albano. Albano met over the ball, and Talumis quickly makes an impact, knocks that away, and off of Albano. So it will be a Penmen throw-in. Conti will throw. Inside of 4 minutes to play in the first half. That's sent toward midfield. Penmen moving toward their own goal here. That's McCarthy. She plays it far side for Inu. Inu sends it long toward the box, and Villacrest calls off her teammates. She will play it on a hop. This is Melgar, met by a pair of Penmen. She turns toward the inside, and that one's sent weakly across midfield. SNHU has it. Inu into the center of the pitch. Wessner near side. This is Talumis. Talumis once again sends it to the center of the pitch, this time for Sakema. And she sends one toward goal, and Villacrest extends to make the save.
Villacrest there had to use all 5'3" of her height to get her fingers on that one and bring it down as the 5th shot on goal there by Southern New Hampshire University is denied by Villacrest. And Joe, the story here of this first half is the shots on goal. None for the Dolphins. Salomon had that one chance, but it went over the net.
Well, there is no doubt that these Penmen have realized Villacrest is taking a few extra steps forward away from goal. And you said it, Nick. She stands only 5'3", and that opens up some space to put it over her head as Sakema receives another pass, this time in the box. And it's knocked away by Megan Marr. It's going to be a corner kick for SNHU as we wind down toward the final 2 minutes of this second half.
Yep, here's your 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left here in the first half.
We know our friends listening from the areas nearby, perhaps hearing some of the public address, will hear the countdown, so they'll know exactly how much time is left in the first half. I still find it hard to believe the power that this sound system has. I heard it last year, and obviously you referenced it earlier today, but great system we have, perhaps a bit too great. As that cross is sent toward the center of the box, punched away by Villacrest. And that is sent back toward midfield where Inu is waiting. She may look to shoot it. Left-footed shot off one of her teammates. That rolls straight onto the foot of another Penman attacker. Cross sent in front, and Villacrest dives on top of it, though it appears as if the flag went up for offsides. Villacrest sends it toward midfield.
She's doing a nice job right now keeping this game close, that's for sure, Joe.
1 minute remaining.
1 minute to go in the first half. 1 minute remaining, as the Penmen may look to add one more goal before halftime.
I think we should count it down with Joe, to just really drive the fact home for our listeners at home.
You can take it away, Nick. That's all you.
All right, I'll wait till Joe starts the countdown, and I'll count it down. I'll do my best Dick Clark impersonation here to take us into the half. But we'll see what happens here. There's still 30 seconds left.
Ball in the midfield with the Penmen. We'll see if they're content to let the final seconds bleed off. They are not. Giving chase is Ralston, and she runs out of room. So it's going to be a Dolphins goal kick.
That should do it here for this half. And without further ado, Joe, here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Halftime.
There we go, Joe.
Dolphins will trail at the intermission 2-0, and here is the reason why at the end of the half. The reason they were able to keep it a 2-goal game as Villacrest punches away that cross on the follow. Inu had her shot deflect off of a teammate. The offsides flag did go up on this attempted pass in front, and that would bring the first half to a close. So Nick and I will be back in about 10 minutes with the call of the second half in this NCAA Division II women's soccer matchup, Dolphins and Penmen, only on CSI Sportsnet.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
When your car is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447-4898.
Hi, Meals on Wheels. I'm Marco. I'm a college student, and I volunteer as a driver for Meals on Wheels. I think it's awesome meeting these people. I mean, they're so interesting. They've had so many wonderful experiences in life. Your community helps to raise you up into the person that you become. Meals on Wheels is a great way to give back to that community.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Here at the soccer complex on this afternoon, we are set to get started in half number 2 between the Dolphins and the Penmen. CSI trailing 2-0, entering the final 45 minutes. And we said it before, Nick, if the Dolphins want to get back into this game, they need to score next.
Absolutely. They need to come out here and be the aggressor. Because right now they are being dominated in their own zone, having a hard time maintaining possession and taking it down the field the other way. So something's going to have to give here if they want to score. I do think the Dolphins made a goalie change. It looks like Brianna Dorr is now in net for the Dolphins from what I could see.
Well, Nick, I'm going to ask you to take over for just another minute. I have to head into the room next door, and we'll be right back with the call of the second half. Nick, take it away.
All right, so status quo here. Southern New Hampshire University has possession here to start this half. Well, you will see if they decide to be the aggressor or sit tight, as their captain, number 9, Morgan Seachin, had the ball, played it forward. That ball is played out of bounds by the Dolphins, and it is going to be a throw-in here for Southern New Hampshire University. They play it in. Lots of action along the sideline here to start this half. That ball is headed off a Dolphins defender and played back but maintaining possession by Southern New Hampshire University. So in the backfield now, playing it forward and played in there. But the Dolphins take over with possession. Let's play it forward by the Dolphins, but intercepted again by Southern New Hampshire University. Played forward again. Southern New Hampshire University now plays it towards the box. That one sneaks through. But the goalkeeper, Brianna Dorr, who's freshly in the game this half, Joe, is able to get possession of that, and she plays it ahead, but she kicks it out of bounds at midfield, so back to possession for Southern New Hampshire University.
Well, thank you, Nick, for taking over for me. I went back up to the roof to try and sort out the camera once again to the best of our ability. Unfortunately, our tripod right now is functioning without the middle support. So between the three legs, there is a metal support with 3 prongs, and 2 of those 3 prongs are detached at the moment. So that is what's causing the camera issue. Here comes the Penmen. I should say here comes the Penmen attack, as that one is recovered by the Dolphins and sent toward the far sideline. Fight for possession there as CSI looks to move forward with it, but they could not. I do believe I have the second half starters for both teams, courtesy of Louis Matrone next door. You said it, Nick. Door and goal for the Dolphins. The rest of the CSI starters very quickly. D'Amico, Albano, Jones-Bush, Rodriguez, Castro, Galan, Buckley, Solomon, Melgar, and Marr. For the Penmen, Rose, Gigantis, Anderson, Sykin, Beaumont, Wessner, Sakema, Rolston, Inu, McCarthy, and Conti. Thank you to Lewis for passing along that information as that ball is sent toward the box. Solomon giving chase, but she runs out of real estate.
And as we learned last year in softball and baseball, when it comes to stats, if you want to know what's going on, get Matrone on the phone and he will fill us in on what is happening.
I know Lewis is going to love that when he hears it in about 45 seconds. They have the broadcast on delay in the room next door for assistance with the stats.
Looks like Calabrese, the PA announcer, is shaking his head. Or he was.
They can certainly hear us. It's not a thick wall between the two rooms in the press box, as once again the Penmen moving forward along the far sideline. SNHU sends that into the box, door closing in, and bearing down was Beaumont. Melgar with a strong challenge along the near side, working against Wessner. And the Penmen do keep possession. Solomon nearly intercepts, and she does take it away in the midfield. D'Amico sends it toward the far side. That was Galan for the Dolphins, as Albano intercepts in the midfield once again. But she promptly gives it away. Dolphins really pressing here to open up this second half. Exerting a lot defensively, but that opens up opportunities like that. Dorr decisively comes out and sends it to midfield. That's chipped toward Rodriguez and sent ahead for Jones-Bush, but too long. And that is recovered by Rose. Wessner for Beaumont. Over to Gigantis. Solomon coming in from behind. No foul. And D'Amico couldn't get it to Jones-Bush.
Joe, it looks like Southern New Hampshire University has 2 captains on the field right now.
We've seen that as that shot is sent high off the foot of Victoria Rolston.
Alyssa McCarthy, one of the captains in the backfield. And I did see another person.
It's Morgan Sykin.
So 2 captains for Southern New Hampshire University, no captains for the Dolphins.
Men's soccer did have 2 players wearing that captain's armband the other day. Daniel and Leandro Angulo. That ball chipped in the air toward Rodriguez. And a foul is called against the Penmen. Dolphins still looking for their first shot on goal, as we are now 6 minutes into the second half. Do apologize for the clock not starting while I was upstairs, but we got that taken care of. We'll have to stop that, as here on our broadcast we are going to run an ascending clock. That ball near the top of the box, sent back toward midfield.
Is that going to be a shot on goal, Joe? We'll see what Louis Matrone rules, and he says yes. So first shot on goal.
There it is. Dolphins finally register their first shot on goal. Just shy of 7 minutes into the second half. The clock will start at 52 minutes gone by in half number 2 on your screens. Some have said we don't need an engineer. I might contend differently.
I think an engineer would go a far way, but we still do a great job with that one. That's going to be offsides.
We do our best, that I can say, but having that extra body here in the booth certainly makes a big difference.
The rumor is, though, for basketball, we will be having an engineer, and I think that is essential.
Well, I'll tell you that is not a rumor. That is a fact. We will have an engineer during basketball, I can assure you. Very necessary in basketball. Not as many replays in soccer, which makes it a bit easier now. Before I went to fix the camera, we were trying to work with our production truck application and NCAA live stats to get our live stats to push into our broadcast, but that was cut short when I had to head up to the roof. So we will have that set up for our next game. Hopefully tomorrow we have everything sorted out.
Well, you know what I always say. When there's a will, there's a foreign formula way.
I'm certainly a believer in that, as we do have a substitution for the Penmen. Leah Baum enters, and number 26, I.E. New, exits.
So you did mention not as many replays here, but of course basketball, a key component of the game for the officials is our replay system.
Yes.
We've had plenty of those, and we even had I think we had did we have a softball or was it a baseball replay? Or a coach's challenge, perhaps, in basketball, was it? We had some sort of replay thing that we never had before last
It was a coach's challenge. It was a coach's challenge in basketball. I had no idea that such a system existed for a coach's challenge at the college level. Fortunately, we had the replay they were looking for. We typically tell our engineers to capture anything that could be left open to interpretation, whether it's two-pointer versus three-pointer, a foul call, anything that's potentially reviewable, we typically tell the engineer to clip that. So makes the job much easier when you know that you have to clip any such play. Really seems as if the pitch has been tilted in the second half. Much of the attacking play taking place down around the Dolphins' goal.
Yeah, and that tilt is not the camera. It's just actually how the game's going right now.
Yeah, this is no fault of our camera operator. We just need the proper equipment. So we'll get that sorted out ahead of the men's game on the 14th. We may have to tough it out one more day tomorrow, but we'll certainly get that corrected ahead of the next women's game, as that's redirected in front and redirected a second time wide.
Lucky there for the Dolphins that one did not end up in the back of the net.
We will get another look at it. The initial cross set up a quality chance. The ball was redirected toward goal and then just wide of goal. That is as close as it gets, just wide of the post. Dolphins facing some stiff pressure from the Penmen, and Marr simply clears it away over the near side. Will be a throw-in for SNHU. Penmen looking to move to 2-0 on the season. They are off to a very good start, a 2-goal advantage, and possession has certainly favored the visitors here in the second half, much as it did during the first half. Nice turn by Solomon as she moves into the midfield. Now Rodriguez has it. Make that Castro. Now Rodriguez gets a foot on it. This is Solomon. Solomon avoids one challenge. She's moving in. Solomon for Jones-Bush. Back to Solomon. And she goes down. No foul.
Men's soccer team in front of us. Not happy with that. They were waiting for the whistle.
I was about to say, much to the chagrin of men's soccer, no foul. Here come the Penmen on the counter. That ball onto the foot of Rolston and cleared away by Marr. with it. This is Beaumont, and she sends one toward goal. Easily handled by Dorr. Dorr for Castro. Rodriguez moving toward the center of the pitch, has some space. This is Solomon. Stiff challenge from behind. She stays on her feet. Now Castro. Castro looking for Jones-Bush. Jones-Bush tried to turn, sends it over in the direction of D'Amico. That was intercepted. Gigantes over to Beaumont. Beaumont up ahead for Ralston. 2 Dolphins closing in, and CSI has it. This is Albano. Now Rodriguez. Beaumont was there. She takes it away. Rodriguez yanks on the jersey, and the clock has been stopped.
Certainly going to get the yellow card there.
No doubt. So Rodriguez will pick up the yellow, and it will be a free kick for the Penmen. Now, that was a pretty blatant jersey tug. The official certainly wasn't going to miss it. Now, the replay does capture it, and after this free kick, you will see the reason for that booking. In fact, I think we have a moment right now, so let's take a look at it. May have only caught the tail end. We'll wind that back a bit and get an extended look at the battle for possession right there. And that will wait until after this free kick. So, Penman with an opportunity here to break this game open once again off the set piece. That's sent in front, headed toward goal, and just over the crossbar.
Nice header attempt there, but goes high and over the crossbar. And the score remains 2-0 here. And Dorr with the goalie kick.
Well, here's the reason for that free kick. There you see the jersey tug by Rodriguez. That earned her a booking. And then shortly after, on the free kick, a very good opportunity for the Penmen. That sailed just high on the header. I believe that was Sakema on the header attempt. Officially 6 shots on goal for SNHU, just 1 for CSI. The only corner kick of the game belongs to the Penmen. Possession with the Penmen in the midfield. That's sent up the pitch toward Beaumont, and the flag is up. Offsides is the call, and the Dolphins will have a free kick.
So 31 minutes left here. Dolphins being severely outshot 6-1, and their one shot really was just a dribbler to the goal. So they need to get on the offensive attack here soon, because it is getting a little too late here for them in this game to mount the comeback.
That ball is sent out toward the midfield and is redirected by the Penmen. Solomon battles and wins possession for CSI. Now Rodriguez moving forward. Sakema right behind her, trying to wrestle that ball away. But Rodriguez earns the throw. Was looking for Jones-Bush. It sails by. And that's cleared out toward midfield by the Penmen. This is Gigantes. Beaumont. Back to Baum. McCarthy. Back to Baum again. That ball rolls toward the near side and gets away. So Dolphins are awarded the throw. And we'll see if they can capitalize here on that miscue. Not many of those for the Penmen today, but there is the one that stands out. It left the net vacant. Dolphins couldn't capitalize, and they haven't had a chance nearly as good since.
Well, that certainly at this point has come back to haunt them, as that's headed out of bounds. And you said that could go either way. It could say, hey, we're going to stick with them, or it could be, well, that was our one chance. And so far, it has played out as that was the one chance, and they haven't been able to get back in that striking zone since.
Well, while we have a quick break in the action, we will get one more look at that Dolphins chance that slipped through CSI fingertips. Here it is. Scramble for the ball in front. Jones Bush was the first Dolphin there. Solomon followed the play, had the vacant net, and sent it over the crossbar. And Dolphins haven't had a chance anywhere near that quality since.
Just a touch too hard there by Salomon.
Goal kick for the Penmen as we are inside of 29 minutes to play in the second half. Dolphins still continuing to exert pressure the full length of the pitch. This same group has been out there for CSI the entire second half. We'll see how much longer they continue to apply this kind of pressure. That was D'Amico on the challenge, knocked it away and sent it over the far side. SNHU will throw. That ball rolling toward the midfield stripe. It's chipped in the air. Drogantis tried to get a piece of it, could not. Now Rodriguez has it for CSI. It's taken away by Drogantis. Beaumont sends it back to Baum. That's Wessner. Her pass taken away by CSI. Albano on the interception. Solomon redirected it to the Penmen in the midfield circle. Now Baum sends it across the pitch, far side. That was Conti. She has Anderson. Anderson already has a goal in this game. Anderson moves in toward the corner of the box, working against Galan. Anderson toward the touchline. She gains a step, sends one into the box, and it was broken up by the Dolphins. She was looking for Ralston on that pass. Melgar with the breakup, but it's taken away. Ralston has Anderson, Galan there. Anderson has an overlapping Wessner. That's sent into the box on goal, but easily saved by Dorr.
Yeah, the door was certainly not open there, as she is able to slam it shut, so an easy stop there by Brianna Dorr.
When she picks up a victory, I know you're going to be eager to say the door is closed on a Dolphins win.
Absolutely.
This is Wessner in the midfield. Far sideline, Conti. Now Anderson. Anderson for Sakema, and the Dolphins do come away with it. That one sent it to a dangerous spot. Sakema able to get a small piece of that ball.
But easily stopped by Brianna at the front door, and it'll be a goal kick for her.
That's punted toward midfield circle over a few leaping players as Jones Bush tried to chip it for Solomon, but it rolls over to Hannah Rose. 2 substitutions at the scorer's table for CSI. And that ball is rolling toward the far sideline. Ralston giving chase, working against Albano. Ralston may have a half a step, and that is sent wide of the frame.
Well, Joe wasn't here for the last game, but so far, no cars have been damaged in this game. We did see a very rookie mistake last season by one of the assistant women's basketball coaches, Kelsey Carey, who parked her car right behind the net and got a smashed window. You and I, of course, know better. We're parked right next to each other, a little further back against the trees.
Kelsey definitely should have known better, but our staff has been coached very well in not parking anywhere near the area behind goal.
Well, if there's one car window that'll never get smashed, it's certainly our PA guys, Joe Calabrese, because he knows a lot better than to bring his car by the soccer field, that's for sure.
Smart man. Penmen moving in on the attack, corner of the box. Anderson working toward the center of the pitch. Once again, she has Wessner overlapping. That's sent toward goal and wide. Dorr gets a foot on it. We'll see what she looks to do here as the Penmen will back off. 24:35 on the clock here at Dolphin Soccer Park. No added time in the college game. So when the clock hits 90 on your screen and 0 here at Dolphin Soccer Park, The second half is over. No overtime. That a new rule change in the NCAA for this season. As the Dolphins will make a pair of substitutions.
Substitution. Number 7, Barbara Serrano enters the game.
Barbara Serrano in. Danny
10,
Duca in. Ariel Solomon out. And Kelly Buckley out. So Dolphins make a pair of changes. Their first substitutions of this second half. Throw in by Rodriguez toward Duca. And knocked over the fence out of play. Rodriguez throws toward Melgar, and the Dolphins were unable to keep that ball in.
While we have a second here, we want to wish one of our staff members, Nino, a speedy recovery. He had some dental work. He's got a full mouth of metal, and he's at home recovering, and he's looking forward to next weekend going out for some Rocky Mountain oysters to celebrate the recovery of his dental surgery. So, Nino, we wish you well. We hope you get well soon, and good luck back to school next week because he is a middle school science teacher at IS-75.
Our viewers who have been loyal to us for the last year and a half or so might be a bit suspicious of that, Nick, that shout out, because Nino had some dental work last year too. So
follow-up procedure.
It was a follow-up a year later. I don't know if the viewers are going to buy it. I'm not sure I buy it. I think Nino just couldn't make it today, and his go-to excuse was the dental work. He used that already. He can't use that excuse again. I am in charge of staffing these events now, so Nino not going to get by with the dental work excuse next time. All kidding aside, we look forward to having Nino back, whether it be at the stats desk or alongside us engineering the broadcast.
Nino recently took in a Jason Mraz concert with longtime CSI Sports Information Director David Pizzuto. So that was a very interesting meetup there, as Nino, of course, was a teacher for Dave's two daughters at IS-75.
Good ball there for Beaumont, but the Dolphins shielding her off of it nicely. Beaumont did get a head on it, but that was it. So,
and I am getting another message here from our PA announcer's mom, Joe Calabrese, on Instagram at AngieBaby19, and she said her baby Joe is doing a fantastic job today on PA. He's all over the substitutions, and I have to concur, Joe. He's doing an excellent job today.
He is doing a great job. He'll hear the shout out in a minute, Nick. They're about 45 to 60 seconds behind us. So if you would like a shout out, you know where to find us at CSI Dolphins. And
of course, we had plenty of people commenting to me when we did the Mets last year in soccer. But we have someone going down here. No whistle here, but it looks like a serious injury.
I think they're playing an advantage, as that one is sent wide of the frame. Now, the head official had what looked like an advantage signal displayed. So the Dolphins, I believe, were playing with the advantage there. Now, a yellow card has been issued on the play. That one against Sykin. The player who was down for the Dolphins looked to be Galan. Albano attending to her. Brendan Guzman is very unhappy, as we're going to have 4 substitutions coming on.
I'm sure Joe will be all over that, but when it comes to coaching, you need to do it with passion or not at all. And obviously, Brendan Guzman is very passionate. He's heated up, going to bat, fired up for his players here.
Well, it looks like 5 players have exited the game. Now, we may have to go back to the video for that one. I don't envy Joe Calabrese at this moment. Hasn't had to handle 5 subs at a time yet. We'll see if they can do it. Let's see. Here we go.
Entering the game. Number 4, Lindsay Noon. Number 6, Jordan Butters. Number 2, Nita Orloff. Number 26, Ethan New. And number 30, Claudia Keith.
Great job by Joe. Didn't miss a beat. Better than I would have done.
Say it ain't so. You can never doubt a Joe.
That's right. A motto I live by. Penman will throw in. And that's bodied over the near side. Once again, this is Joe Foreman on the call for CSI Sportsnet, alongside Nick Durst. Of course, this game being broadcast live on the ECC network. the official home of CSI Sportsnet and all of our athletics streams throughout the season.
ECC Network, the place to be in 2022 and 2023.
That's absolutely right. Much more to come, and our viewers won't have to wait long. Men's soccer tomorrow. From right back here at Dolphins Soccer Park, the men take on Assumption University. As you saw at halftime, they did earn the win in their home opener last time out on Wednesday against Bloomfield College.
Certainly a bit of a light home schedule this year for Dolphins soccer. But every game, of course, will be covered here.
Didn't get a chance to go through much of the schedule during our opening broadcast, and I was going to wait until this attacking play concluded for the Dolphins, but they send it over the near side. Now, taking a look at the schedule before the season started, I was going through it. There are only 10 individual dates where we will have soccer here at the College of Staten Island. It was 3 single games, 3 for each team, that is. So 6 single games, 3 men, 3 women. As we have another Dolphin substitution, it's Ariel Solomon coming in for Danny Duca. So Solomon didn't spend much time on the bench. She comes back in. But as I was saying, 3 home games for the men that are single games, 3 home games for the women that are single games, and then 4 double headers. The first of which will be played on September 24th against St. Thomas Aquinas College. So if you're looking to get a 2-for-1 here at Dolphins Soccer Park, come out on the 24th. Of course, we have our T-shirt giveaway tomorrow that we mentioned during the first half. And we have another men's soccer game ahead of that doubleheader on the 24th. That game will be played on September 14th. That is 1 week from next Wednesday. So tomorrow, 1 week from Wednesday, and Saturday the 24th, our next 3 soccer events here at the College of Staten Island.
I think later in the season we have some early afternoon, late morning Thursday soccer for you as well.
Do we have an early morning Thursday game?
Late morning or early afternoon, I believe.
All right, here come the Dolphins the other way. That's sent toward goal and wide. But the Dolphins were awarded the advantage. A foul was committed back around midfield, and CSI will receive a free kick. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to think. I don't have the schedule in front of me at the moment, though I can pull it up on our computer.
Should we phone Matrone to see if he's got the schedule for us?
I have it right here. I think I may know what doubleheader you're referring to. Here it is. On Wednesday, October 26th, the Dolphins will face Damon University here at Dolphins Soccer Park. Now, we were debating this after the broadcast last game. I'm of the opinion that it is Dolphins Soccer Park, plural. What's your opinion, Dolphin or Dolphins?
Well, they are the CSI Dolphins, Joe.
I agree. Now, taking a look at our schedule, which was posted a while back, our home venue is listed as Dolphin Soccer Park without the S. So,
well, to me, there is really only one Dolphin. That's Danny. And Danny, of course, was at the Staten Island University Hospital Community Park last Friday as CSI Dolphins, longtime baseball head coach Michael Morrow, made his Atlantic League managerial debut, filling in for Algardo Alfonso, and he managed the Staten Island Ferry Hawks.
I'm a bit salty that I wasn't there. Now, I didn't get started again in my new role until this past Monday, so had I gone to the game, I would have been doing it with our personal equipment on our own time. And I almost ended up doing it, but I found they had a broadcast already. They didn't need someone to call the game. And to simply take in the game on a Friday night, I didn't do it. But had I been invited to call the game on behalf of CSI Sportsnet, I would have loved to, and I know you would have been in for that as well.
Absolutely.
If they ever do it again, I'll be certain we are there. And I should mention as well that we didn't have our Mac repaired as of Friday, which really complicated things.
Huge shout out to Alberto in the athletics department for getting the Mac repaired, as last year it unfortunately had a cracked screen.
Well, I was excited to see Alberto walk through the door earlier this week on Tuesday. I was more excited when he handed me the repaired Mac. When I thought things couldn't get any better with Alberto walking in, he handed me the repaired computer, and things had all of a sudden gotten much better. So we were very grateful for that. And Alberto took care of that for us, as haven't had much in terms of shots on goal here in the second half. A lot of play in the midfield as D'Amico, right in front of the head official, yanked the jersey. The advantage is being played. Now, that is going to draw a card. I would assume the clock is stopped and there is going to be a booking. So, referee is reaching into his pocket, and he shows D'Amico a yellow card. Well, that may have been Albano, so.
Well, both of them did yank on
I
the
did
shirt,
see that.
So I'm not sure how we would communicate who's getting the yellow card, but certainly very important, because when you hit a certain amount of bookings with the yellow cards, you get the automatic red and you have to miss a game. And those are some impact players for the Dolphins for sure.
Looking at the replay, without pushing it to our main feed, I saw D'Amico clearly pull the jersey. Now, it looked like the yellow card was shown in the direction of Albano, but if I'm scoring that as a yellow card on D'Amico. She pulled the jersey right in front of the official. That had to be what he saw, as the free kick is sent into the box, on target, on goal, and in. And the Penmen have scored for the third time off of the free kick. A lot of traffic in front. I'm trying to get a look at who scored it. And we will have that confirmation in just a moment. It looked like congratulations were going to number 18, Allison Beaumont, but we will check the replay and confirm.
Well, the yanking of the jersey there certainly came back to haunt the Dolphins, as the free kick goes into the box. It's played around a little bit and ultimately ends up in the back of the net for another goal for Southern New Hampshire University. They're up 3-0 here with 14:43 remaining in the game.
And I do believe that was Beaumont, but we will get confirmation right here as we take a look at the replay. And that was Beaumont who scored the goal. So for Beaumont, that goal will be her first of the season. Sykin with the assist on the goal. And for the Penmen, they have jumped out to a 3-goal advantage here.
Dolphins here still looking for their first goal of the season.
Officially 14 minutes to play here in the second half, so we'll get our clock corrected. Our score is correct, however, 3-0 in favor of the visitors. And if there was any doubt about the outcome of this game, the Penmen may have just erased that. The Dolphins with just one shot on goal and have really struggled to muster time on attack. Taking it up the near side is Orloff. She's already scored. She sends one in front. And Dorr grabs it out of the air.
Dorr able to play that one on the cross there to break up any chance of a threat. And we'll see if the Dolphins are able to at least get in the attack here in the last 13 minutes.
That ball redirected towards the SNHU goal where Rose is waiting. Well, they did have a change in goal, actually, so there was a change in goal. That may have just happened, as that is the freshman goalkeeper, Claudia Keith, who has taken over. She wears number 30, so I think Keith came on after that last goal, because I know Rose was in the second half starting lineup.
Yes, that's for sure.
Whatever the change was and whenever it was made, you know Louis Matrone was right on top of it.
Absolutely. And, you know, we got a second here, so might as well shout out our great staff today. Louis Matrone, of course, who is on the stats with the one and only Sal Caruso. Joe Calabrese, who's gotten many shout-outs today from us, his mother, Angie, and, of course, Jared on the stream. He's doing a great job on PA. Steven, the intern's in there, in the other room helping out. Gia Esposito, star basketball player
G-Money.
for the Dolphins. G-Money. She's ready for the season, but she's in there working the scoreboard, doing a great job of stopping the clock when the officials throw up the X. And, of course, cannot forget Pat, not to be mistaken with Andrew Rotundo, who is up on the roof.
We may have a scoring chance here, Nick, as that's sent in front on the follow with the shot and the goal is Georgia Green. And Green with a high-effort play there to follow that one into the center of the box. She navigated her way through traffic and put it past door for the 4th Penn men goal. And SNHU now has a 4-goal advantage over CSI, matching their margin of victory in last year's meeting.
Georgia saw Green at the back of the net and cashed in as she slammed that one home, and it's now 4-0 here.
Southern New Hampshire goal unassisted by number 13, Georgia Green.
Unassisted as well, so nice job by her.
Number 17, Angie Gallant.
That's going to get changed. That's certainly going to get changed.
Number 9, Caitlin Burns enters the game for number 20.
Just as we were complimenting Mr. Matrone.
That's going to get changed. 100%. And the reason it needs to be changed is because none of the Dolphins had firm possession. There were a couple of Dolphins who got a foot on it, but no Dolphin was ever able to secure that ball and had firm control. There's definitely going to be an assist on that goal. Now the question is, who made the pass? And I think we know who it was because immediately after the announcement, they hung their head at the midfield stripe. So that's going to be changed, and Joe can make the announcement. They're working on it. I assure you, Nick, they're working on it.
I think Steven's all over it in there.
We will get one more look at the replay, and we can confirm. We had a good look at it.
I think, Joe, we need to get a booth cam so we can give our listeners at home who we're talking about in the press box.
One step at a time.
Let's get a tripod first.
Yes. All right. It's going to be a corner for the Penn men, so we'll get one more look at that last goal. Now, on replay, it's a lot more up for debate.
Never doubt Matrone.
It's not a matter of doubting Matrone. It's a matter of Jordan Butters clearly thought that she redirected that ball onto the foot of Green. There is no way Lewis could have seen that. Now, in that case, there might be 2 assists, though. It did pinball around, and I think if it was redirected by Butters, just 1 assist.
So Butters buttered that one up on the nice touch.
One more look.
Over to Georgia Green.
One more look. We'll see. That could really go either way. It could really go either way. Butters certainly thought she had the assist.
We'll have to leave it to the ACC department to make the official calling.
We'll make the call after the game. But in a 4-0 game, we can slow it down one more time. Joe is just loving it. We'll have to restart the clock as well.
Well, we apologize if the Butters family is watching and they want to know if their daughter's going to get an assist, just head on over to CSIDolphins.com post-game and you can check the stats, and we'll see what the ACC department decides for the official scoring. And we got the replay to slow it down and make the appropriate call.
We'll be sure to get it right. We are going to slow it down right now. I just want to make sure we get these substitutions and get the clock restarted. All right, so the clock is now synced with our venue clock, and we will get one more look at that in slow motion. Nick, if you can take a look at the monitor, maybe help me out a bit. We'll see what you think. Let me trim off the end here so that we don't get the celebration again. We just need the goal. So let's get one more slow motion look at it. It all comes down to, was her intent to heel kick that?
I don't think it was her intent.
I don't think so. I don't think so. It will probably stand as unassisted, and that's what I get for doubting Louis Matrone.
We got a message here from another one of our staffers, Nick Bavona, who said if he was there, he would have agreed with the call from Sal. So he says Sal and Lewis got it right.
Well, I can't doubt Nick and Lewis. That would be an egregious mistake on my part. The question is, did Bavona text you? Or did he text me and I missed it?
He commented on the live stream.
Okay.
I think it was Bavona. I think it was Lewis signaling that Bavona told him.
Okay.
Because I don't have his number. Actually, I might. But there is no comments on the live stream this year, is there?
There are not. So I knew that I couldn't take you seriously there, and that's a problem. I need to be able to take my broadcast partner seriously as we have a foul called along the near side. Now, I can almost assure anyone watching at home who is interested in scoring decisions such as that assist that there is not going to be an assist on that goal. And the clock is stopped. And it looks like we're going to have another booking here.
Uh-oh.
And Green, after scoring the goal, is shown the yellow card. So another yellow issued to the Penn men. And the Dolphins will attempt a free kick.
Green showed the yellow, and the Dolphins here have the free kick. This could be a potential chance for him to get another shot on goal here.
And I don't mean to overstep and say it after this goal as that's headed away, but Galan fires one well wide. I don't mean to step on the toes of our statisticians, but I promised them that I'll give them my input over the stream. So
it's working out, that's for sure.
I'm doing this from
it's a top-notch
place of trying to assist them.
Top-notch operation here. The ACC department hasn't looked this buttoned up in quite some time for a soccer game. You could thank Genius for helping with the stats. So that was a great switchover by the previous administration.
Great move by our former ACC, Joe Masha, who has moved on to a position at Wagner College. He had his first football game the other night. Said it went really well. Was happy to hear that. 6.5 minutes to go here from Dolphins Soccer Park as my broadcast partner, Nick Durst, exits the booth. He has a personal obligation that he needs to attend to. So he let me know ahead of the game that he needed to get out of here at about 1:50 p.m., and we've reached that point now as the Penn men were looking for goal number 5. That shot is sent just wide. So the Dolphins will still trail by just 4. And that was Linnea Hicks on that shot, and we will get another look at it. Now, if there's one thank you that I really look forward to issuing next time we're on the air, it is a thank you to the company that manufactures our new tripod, because we need it desperately. And I've been watching on the monitor here in the second half, and we can assure you that our camera operator is doing the best he can. Our tripod simply gave way during the first half. Everything worked flawlessly on Wednesday. We thought we were good to go, and unfortunately that has not been the case, but Pat on camera doing a great job for us, working through some faulty equipment. As that shot is sent on goal and saved, and down to a knee is a Dolphin. The clock is stopped, and it looked like that may have been Marr who went down, and she appeared a bit shaken up. And she will stay down on the pitch as she is attended to by the trainer. So while they attend to Marr, we'll get one last look at the previous shot attempt by the Penn men, and then we are going to head to break. The Dolphins trail 4-0 as we have about 5 minutes left on the clock here in the second half from Dolphins Soccer Park. We will get our clock synced with the main scoreboard, and I will step aside when we come back, the closing minutes of this NCAA Division II women's soccer matchup.
Well, for me, just kind of was the glue that kept my family together, I feel like. I don't know what it was that drew me in, but after I started playing for a while and started seeing some early success as a little kid, to see how much it meant to my parents to see me play the game and try to make a difference was really what fueled me to keep playing and stay competitive. Being a triple major is not necessarily easy, but at the same time it is what you make it. Being a tighter-knit university, I have a lot of classes with the same professors, so they know me pretty well. I think it's that personal relationship that really helped me to thrive as a student. I was able to come here and get my triple major, as well as play a super high level of baseball against some of the best players in the country. There's a lot of options here in Division II with a lot of great ball players and a lot of great people, and they make sure that they give you every opportunity to succeed on and off the field.
And we are back from Dolphins Soccer Park. And I believe I did make a mistake ahead of the break. That was not Marr who went down on the play. From up here, it looked like a number 25, which I don't have on the roster. So
Entering the game, number 4, Emily Albano.
Emily Albano will check back in. It's tough to get a number from where I'm seated. That might have been Jillian Gardner who was down. So it looked like 25, or I should say 27 from up here. That may have been 26. So that's my mistake. So Megan Marr checks into the game, or was in the game, but she was not the injured player. Again, that is my mistake. As we have about 4.5 minutes to go here in the second half, we'll get our clock to reflect that. And we are now perfectly synced for the final minutes here from Dolphins Soccer Park. CSI trailing by 4 goals against Southern New Hampshire University as the Dolphins are staring in the face of an 0-3 start to their season. A 4-0 result would be the same result as last season when these two teams met. But the Penmen have certainly been trying to add some more to their lead. Dorr does get to that ball ahead of the attacking player, and that was Ann Sakema once again. She's been right at the head of that Penmen attack at the striker spot since checking into the game. SNHU will work it near side. Inu up the pitch for Sakema. This is Green, who has a goal in this game. That's Baum up the pitch, working far sideline. That's Calatuni. Calatuni along the far side is dispossessed, but it will be a throw-in for the Penmen. Baum will throw. Baum throws for the corner of the box. That's chipped in the air and headed into the penalty area where Marr meets the ball. It's taken away by Green. Green sends it back toward midfield. Saikin near side. Now with it is Talumis. Talumis into the box. Green redirected off of Albano. And Galan sends it right back the other way. Hicks plays it toward the outside of the box. That shot is on goal, and that is saved. That was Calatuoni on the shot. I apologize for the initial mispronunciation. I hope that's right. Just over 2 minutes to play here from Dolphins Soccer Park. Dolphins haven't had much in the way of chances in this game, but they continue to play hard defensively. They have been all over the place, especially in the midfield. They've been challenging aggressively and have made some nice plays, but on the attack, they have really struggled to generate chances. Possession has favored the Penmen in a big way, as we had a foul in the midfield. Perhaps a bit further than that, as the Dolphins are awarded a free kick. As has been typical, Albano will line up over the ball, and she will send it away. Albano over toward the far side. D'Amico finds Galan. Galan had that pass partially deflected, and it's headed for Saikin, who sends it out toward midfield. Marr got ahead on it, but Green was there waiting. Galan trying to get there, and she does, as she beats Green to the spot, looking for Duca. Duca working against Inu, and she is dispossessed, but it will be a Dolphins throw-in with 1 minute to play in the second half. CSI will make a late substitution. Colleen Rodriguez will head off the pitch, and Isabella Castro will head on. Inside of 40 seconds to go from the College of Staten Island. Inu finds Green. Green back to McCarthy. Inu for McCarthy again. McCarthy to her keeper. Once again, that's Claudia Keith in net for the second half. I don't believe she's faced a shot, as that ball was deflected downward by Tulumis. The Penmen did come away with it for a moment. Albano sends it over the sideline. And we will count down from 10 here at Dolphins Soccer Park, as the Dolphins will begin their season 0-3. They dropped this game against Southern New Hampshire University by a final score of 4-0. Dolphins, as we mentioned during the pregame, won't be in action here at home again for quite some time. Their next home match will be on September 24th against St. Thomas Aquinas College, but CSI will hit the road this week as they travel to Rutherford, New Jersey to take on Felician University this Wednesday at noon. So some daytime action on Wednesday for the Dolphins against Felician University. We do not have stream information for that game yet, but when we do, it will be posted to our schedule page over at csidolphins.com. Between now and our next game here at home, the Dolphins will have two matches. The first, of course, against Felician on Wednesday. The second will come against Malloy College on Saturday, September 10th. So taking a look at the box score from today's matchup, the goal scorers for the Penmen: Orloff, Anderson, and Green officially. I know there should be one more here, so I'll go to the substitutes, and it was Beaumont who scored the fourth Penmen goal. Assists officially credited to Orloff, Noon, Sykin, and Green in the game, so four players also picking up an assist. It's a 3-point afternoon for Sykin, for Green, and for Orloff. I make that just Green and Orloff. That's my mistake. So two players tallying 3 points in today's game, and it was a convincing victory for Southern New Hampshire University for the second consecutive year over the College of Staten Island. So be sure to join us here at Dolphins Soccer Park tomorrow, as the men's soccer team will be in action. They take on Assumption University. That game will kick off tomorrow at 1 p.m. And until then, we thank you for watching. Once again, our final score, SNHU 4 and the College of Staten Island 0. Join us tomorrow right back here on the ECC Network for men's soccer.